Think your dart setup doesn't matter? Think again. The right setup can completely change your game. Better accuracy, tighter groupings, and more consistent scoring. Today we're going to walk through the ultimate dart setup guide to help you find the perfect combination of barrel, stem, flight, and point. If you're not getting the results you want on the oche, this could be why. So let's get into it. Step 1. Find the right barrel shape, grip, and weight. The barrel is the most important part of the dart. It's what you grip, what you feel in your hand, and what ultimately controls how the dart flies. Weight. Start with a medium weight, around 22 to 24 grams. That's the sweet spot for most players, offering a good balance of control and power. If it feels too light or too heavy, adjust from there. Some pros like Stephen Bunting use super light darts around 18 grams. He used to throw 12 grams. Ryan Searle, however, throws 32 gram monsters, and he's even thrown 34 and 36 grams. There's no right or wrong, but it's all about what feels best for you. Grip. Now some players like a smooth grip, others prefer aggressive cuts that give them more control. Ring cuts, sharp cuts, and milled cuts that all feel very different. So test out a few. If it feels comfortable and you know where your fingers are every time when you're holding that dart, you're on the right track. Shape and length. Now barrels come in different shapes and lengths, which affect how they feel and how they fly. Straight barrels are your most versatile, good for consistent grip and release, and because often they're slim, they'll be really good for grouping. Torpedo or bomb shaped, they're more front weighted, a little bit more forgiving in the air, which helps with that grouping and high scoring. Tear shaped, they're easier to control but might affect how tightly you can group your darts. Shorter barrels, more direct, less forgiving. Longer barrels, there's more room to grip and, let's face it, 52mm long for Luke Littler seem to work. Now if you want to dive deeper into barrel shapes and grips, we've got a full guide on barrels which you can check out after this video. Choose the right stem. Now stems obviously connect the barrel to the flight. They also help control the angle that your dart enters into the board. And they're more important than you realise. Length matters. Now short stems offer more control and a higher tail entry into the board. The medium stems are actually called inters or tweenies. The inters and tweenies are a balanced option for most throw styles. Now your long stems, which are often called medium, have a flatter entry into the board for most throw styles. If you have a short bomber dart, the long stem and a large flight however, that can give you a high tail entry, so it does depend on your combination. Now stems also come in different materials. You've got nylon, aluminium, carbon fibre, many different options. Nylon for example are lightweight, flexible, but they can break more easily. Aluminium are a little bit heavier, they're a little bit more durable, and they can also bend over time. Carbon fibre is your lightweight option, really tough, but it is more expensive. And yet, we've got a full guide on stems, which we break down each type and how it affects your throw. Check it out after this. Now flights play a massive role in how your dart flies and how it sticks in the board. Now larger flights like a standard number 2 produce more drag, they're slower and they're more stable in the air. Smaller flights are faster but less forgiving if your release isn't clean. If you've got a strong, smooth and consistent throw, smaller flights might suit you better. If you're still finding your rhythm, larger flights offer more stability. Now integrated and moulded flight systems offer even more durability and precision. Now these systems are heavier, but they keep your flights locked at a perfect 90-degree angle and can prevent darts from bouncing off one another or sticking into each other. If you're looking for more consistent results and longer lasting flights, these could be a game changer. Once you've chosen your flight, try experimenting with your stem length to see how it changes the flight path. For example, a small flight with a long stem will fly much differently than a large flight with a short stem. Finding that right combination can take a bit of time, but it's worth the effort. We've got a full guide on flights too, so you can check it out once again after this. Now you might not think much about points, but they're more important than you'd expect. Longer points create more room in that treble and can help the dart sit flatter in the board. Now shorter points can create more upright entry into the board, but they reduce grouping space. That's because your barrels will end up closer together. Now points also come with different grip styles. You've got smooth points which have less damage to the board, but they might fall out more easily. Ring cuts or etched points give more grip in the board, helping prevent bounce outs. If your darts are slipping out of the board, rough up the points with a bit of sandpaper or try switching to a grippier coated point. We've got a full guide on repointing, so if you're struggling with bounce outs, check that out. If you're starting out or fine-tuning your game, here's a setup that works for most players. Barrel. Start with a straight-barreled ring grip dart. A good example of that is the Koto Sting. Stem. Try a short stem for more control. Flight. Go with a standard number 2 flight for more stability. Point. Stick with your standard point, but if you notice bounce outs, switch to a coated or grippier point. For me, I'd always say do your points as your last point of your setup. Unless of course you've got the Swiss point system, in which case it's a bit easier. Once you've got your setup, you'll notice how small changes can have a big impact. It's all about finding that perfect balance. That's why testing different combinations matters, because the smallest tweak can make the biggest difference. For me, tinkering around is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, and hope you will too. Nailing your dart setup is all about trial and error, but when you find that right combination, you'll really feel the difference. Your darts will fly straighter, grouping will tighten up, and your consistency will improve. So what's the biggest game changer you found in your dart setup? Let us know in the comments below. We might even feature your tips in a future video. If you've enjoyed this, hit that like button, follow us, and click that bell so you don't miss any more of our instructional videos. So from all of us here at Dartshopper, have a good one.